So, one rider here, and I recently got another flyer in the mail for the Covered Bridges ride. This was a thing that I went to several times in Pennsylvania a few years ago, and basically I'm thinking about going there again this year. Um, but I do remember one thing that happened the very first time I went. It's 100 kilometers through the hills of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and it's a pretty damn fun ride. But you're riding on open streets. It's not like the five borough bike tour of New York or something where they close the roads that you're on to cars. Um, Now, because of this, it doesn't tend to attract as many bumbling novices, but you do have a big problem if you have a lot of people who are basically arrogant pricks, excuse my French. And one of the things that I've learned over the years as a cyclist is if you're riding on the street, it's a hard balance to strike between being polite to the cars, the drivers of the cars, and acting as if you're letting them crowd you over or scared out of your wits. And you have to be, on one hand, able to stand your ground so that you're not run completely off the road. Um, but at the same time, you don't want to give the driver the impression that you're looking for a conflict or that you're needlessly holding him up or something like that. In other words, you want the driver to realize that whatever you're doing isn't out of, you know, thick-headedness, but is out of that there's a pragmatic reason for it, right? So if I'm not riding over any further to the side to give you more room, Mr. Driver in your car, it's because I physically can't, right? If I'm, uh, you know, taking more room than you'd like, it's because there's a reason I have to, you know. And the problem is that, you know, as experienced cyclists, we can do that just fine. But then what happens when you have a cyclist come along who just doesn't give a shit, right? He just doesn't care how he, you know, how much he ticks off those drivers. And every once in a while, you see guys, you know, riding three or four or whatever across. And there's like a whole line of folk behind him trying to get by. And this doesn't happen as much as the drivers think, because a lot of times what they usually construe as cyclists needlessly holding them up, there's a reason for it. Case in point, I mean, if I'm going down a hill at 45 miles an hour, you know, paved road down a hill on my road bike, at 45 miles an hour, I'm probably going to be taking the lane, but it doesn't make a difference because I'm going to be taking the lane because I need the maneuvering room. But it's not going to make a difference to you because 45 miles an hour is probably the speed limit on that road, if the speed limit isn't lower. So it's not like you'd feel any reason to pass or you'd even be able to pass legally. So, like, what gives? Um, Nevertheless, I've had drivers, you know, get behind me on a road with a 40, 45 mile an hour speed limit, and I'm doing 45 or 43 miles an hour down that hill, and the driver's like, "You won't let me pass." Well, why do you need to pass me? I'm going faster than the speed limit, for Pete's sake, right? I mean, you know, or I'm going about what the speed limit is. Why would you feel compelled to pass me? Um, Strange. So, you know, you could put that down. Then there are just some people, if they see a situation where there's a car and a bike, they always assume the car should be in front, no matter what. It's like, really? But the bigger problem is things like what I encountered at the Covered Bridges ride that one year, where you had a guy who was basically riding down a double yellow line in the middle of the street, and the situation he was setting up was such that myself and a lot of other cyclists couldn't pass him. I didn't even want to begin to imagine what would happen if a driver tried to pass him. Now, most of the memories I have from this event are positive, but that wasn't one of them. And I remember saying to the guy, you know, like, dude, give him some room or something. And I guess the guy didn't care because he figures, well, it's just a bunch of non-cyclists. Why should I care about them? Kind of the reverse of how everybody else usually looks at us. And you know, it's okay. I can see where you're coming from because I get kind of pissed at people who don't give a crap about us either. The difference is I realize it doesn't help them think any better of us to be a total a-hole about it. So, you know, you had that one guy out for a recreational road ride. And what he doesn't realize is not everybody just rides on Sunday, right? He's going to piss off that driver on Sunday, and he's not going to realize that I'm going to have to deal with that same guy on Monday when I'm riding my bike to the store or something, right? So it's like, okay, even if you don't care about the drivers, what about all the other cyclists who are going to get crap because you've pissed off that one driver and you've now made him, more anti-cyclist? So, you have to run. On the other hand, you don't want to create a perception in the driver's mind that every cyclist he encounters will just let the drivers run them off the road. So you want to have a fine balance between, you know, staking out your spot of road and saying, no, I'm here and I'm going to stay here, and between not being a dick about it, basically. And it is one of those things that constantly gives rise to denunciation of cyclists by non-cyclists. Oh, they're needlessly blocking too much of the street. And well, like I said, generally speaking, what that usually amounts to is the driver construing safe and proper cycling as being an a-hole because the driver simply has a misperception or just doesn't know what he's looking at. He's never cycled in traffic before as an adult. What the hell does he know? In terms of, I mean, if somebody thinks that he should even be thinking about passing you when you're doing 45 miles an hour on a steep hill down a winding mountain back road, what? The guy ought to have his head examined, right? Um, it's not safe to pass. It's not legal to pass. It's just, passing shouldn't even be an issue. So why should he care that you're, keeping him from getting by? Why would he be getting by you? To pass you, he'd have to be speeding by 10, 15 miles an hour over the speed limit. And, the speeds at which you're both already going is pretty brisk for a winding mountain back road. So, you know, everybody cut everybody else some slack, right? Especially on the road. Um, so just wanted to throw that out there. Cyclists, don't be dicks. Drivers, don't be psychos. And everybody just kind of, give everybody else a break, especially when it comes to things where, you're going to risk killing another human being so that you can hopscotch ahead of them one vehicle length. And then what, get stuck at a red light?